there, since they expect such big numbers. Philly has a way, usually people are disappointed because there's a lot of hype and you never know exactly what's going to happen until the last minute, and that's often the case. So it's like, you know, most people are like, okay, it's Friday night, aren't they going to have barricades all over the place for the wreckage of a, you know, protest? And this happens all the time. Like, crazy things will happen and then it's snuffed really quick. Like, not that you want, you know, total all-out, you know, massacre of people on the streets or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you get all this news out of other places and it lingers and people talk about it and this, that, and the other, and in Philly it's like really quick, they get it out of the way. So at least lately. Well, this is Logan Square. The JFK Plaza is Love Park. The march is going to go through here, probably around to this side, depending on how big it is, and then it's supposed to end there at Eakins Oval. That's right in front of the Art Museum. I don't see any barricades around Logan, so I'm not sure. Fox talked about barricades. I don't know if anybody else did. Fox had some good information in terms of numbers, like 2,000 protests around the United States. Philadelphia expected to be the #1 host of this particular march. There was another number in there, I forgot, but anyway. I can see a bicyclist over there at the light. I already know 90% that person's part of protest population over here. So I would wonder if that person's kind of scouting out, kind of getting a look-see in advance. You know, maybe this person works in the vicinity and is like, on my way home, I'll check to see what's going on. Or, you know, there's a whole system and network to protesting. There are people who grew up their entire lives learning how to protest. You know, their whole lives have been about maintaining democracy and stuff like that. So they would have, you know, like goals, missions, stuff like that. I'll be out here tomorrow checking out the march. It's so funny how different a location can look depending on what's going on. This is Friday, rush hour traffic before a weekend. It's the summer. Technically, it's the unofficial summer. People have all kinds of plans. It's the last day of school for a lot of people in the public school system. So that's going on. So what to do. And then all of a sudden tomorrow at noon, it could be a total wreckage here. 12:30 is really when the kickoff is. 10 to 12, 12:30 is the gathering, if you will. This is all Logan Square. Free Library over there. Franklin Institute over there. Also, you know, the idea was put forth that tactical militant units will be deployed in preparation here in Philadelphia and other cities in case things get out of hand in the coming weeks, if there should be ICE raids and or mass deportations. In other cities, obviously, it's been a big deal. Philly's been on the low end of news-making numbers, I think. Although they had one night of arrests where like 15 people actually got arrested. That was like one of the first nights they came out, probably in response and support of LA. And since then, there hasn't been much going on in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the Constitution City, so often regulations, procedures, policies are observed. So this march tomorrow is, you know, sanctioned. You get a permit and so forth and so on. Are we going? Oh, there are barricades at Barnes Foundation. That's what the bag was. I saw a bag earlier that said Barnes & Noble. We'll do that and then we'll head on back. So police. Oh, I wonder what's going on at the art museum. Do I feel like walking all the way up there? Eakins Oval is all the way up there near the art museum. And it's hard to tell. I see some possible fencing, but I'm not sure. Of course, if everyone gathers in Eakins Oval, then you really, I don't know if they would keep people penned in per se by fencing. I have no idea. I know there's tons of barricades and large, like, heavy-duty, quote-unquote fencing, or hard to describe, in Washington, D.C. Penguin 6, all spelled out, is a YouTuber. He's like actually a press member and has, you know, can go in. He can gain access. You know, he's like a Washington press person, so he can go right on to the White House lawn, and you know, he's invited into that group. So, and he mentioned that this is the first time people have seen this much fencing in Washington, D.C. The type of fencing, it's like L-shaped and black, and would be like heavy weighted on the L to hold the fencing in place, I guess. That's how I saw it. Or it has a lot of reinforcements. It's like military grade. So it looks very, you know, I guess some people would describe it Nazi-ish, but it looks very militant in nature, is the word I get on that. So the Barnes Foundation has barricades. So I've seen this before, where certain places you know, board up their windows or have barricades, whereas the rest of the city doesn't. So I'm kind of curious who gets word to do this versus who decides not to. But I guess Barnes is on the safe side, I guess. They don't want people on this lawn here with the grass and trees. So it's all the way up. It's around here. We'll go past the reflection pool or whatever. It smells good. Indigo bikes, you know. So they have it around the reflection pool, or you know, usually there's a shallow, small amount of water in there, and they have it turned off. Oh, you can't even go in, unless, I don't know, you could go up this sidewalk here and then like through this entrance here. Technically, you can't get in this way. You would have to, like, you know, marchers wouldn't go this far normally, so they would probably respect it. Also, Barnes is very liberal, I think, in terms of, you know, its offerings. It's, you know, about art and everything. Oh, here's these little birds. Hi, sweet things. Yes. So you can go around this way. It smells really good here. There's beautiful flowers in the background. I can't believe how good it smells.